Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we talk about everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. As always, I just want to give a huge shout out to all those who have subscribed to this channel, also those who have followed me on social media. Also, thank all those who allow me to enter in your devices. Now, I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you will have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. And I just want to introduce my co-host, the one and only Keisha, aka K-Fit.
Good evening. How are you? Thank you for having me tonight.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for agreeing to be my co-host. Um, but we have some comments in the chat. Now, I think someone else entered some comments, but somehow they disappeared for whatever reason. Uh, Good evening, James. Thank you very much for stopping by. Now,
Hi, James.
before we get into the subject, I'm just going to share a little bit regarding the situation in Puerto Rico. Some of you may not be aware that the island was hit by Hurricane Fiona, and as a result, there are many homes without water, without electricity, and unfortunately, there's been a loss of life. So I'm going to ask that everyone, please, uh, if you believe in the power of prayer, let's say a prayer for the dear people in Puerto Rico, because the Bible talks about their pain is our pain, and so let's keep it in mind. Now, tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about suicide is not the solution. Uh, Keisha, what's your thoughts on the subject?
I definitely agree. I think suicide is not the option. I think a lot of people just, don't see therapy or talking it out or any other alternative and just resort to that and just get overwhelmed with their emotions and feelings. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I really think that it's something that people need to educate themselves about as far as life and adversity. We all go through the worst and we all don't deal with it well, and I feel like some people are just not educated on the preventions, what realistically could possibly work or what could take some stress off.
Yeah. Now, being that this is a serious topic, there's going to be a couple of slight changes. First of all, I usually share the disclaimer. Part of the disclaimer which states that no one may copy or share the material without my consent. Tonight, I'm giving my consent to anyone and everyone to share this content because this is a very serious topic, and I was surprised at the number of people who actually thought about committing suicide. So, um, and there's many factors. Um, Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an article that comes from psychology.org, and it has to do with suicide prevention. Um, Before I share the information, do you have anything you wish to share, Keisha?
Yes, I just want to say to everybody out there listening live and in a replay, if you're going through these thoughts in your head, please share your feelings or emotions with someone. Don't keep them in. Just express yourself to someone who you feel comfortable with, so someone can try to help you if possible.
Yeah. Let me just share a few words in Spanish. Solamente quiere decir a las personas que están contemplando a quitarle la vida. el- Usted necesita saber que usted tiene mucho valor. Y por favor, si en este momento está pensando en quitarle la vida, que trata de buscar a alguien para buscar terapia, sea un terapista o un bien amigo, o si miembro, miembro de una iglesia que trata de buscar a los pastores de la iglesia, trata de buscar un profesional que ayuda con ese pensamiento, porque la verdad que eso vale la pena para vivir. And I see here we also have the 18th letter. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for stopping by. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this article. And I see there's already 9 people watching this stream, which means that there's definitely some interest. And I really do appreciate all those who are seeing fit, to view this stream live. Now, now, believe it or not, this is suicide is the second leading cause of death after accidents for people ages 10 to 34. Okay. Now I'm going to read to you some statistical data as of 2020. In 2020, in the United States, over 45,000 people died by suicide. An estimated 1.4 million adults attempted suicide each year, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. More than 1 in 5 people who had died by suicide had expressed their suicide intent. Men are more than 3 times likely than women to take their lives. Firearms are the most common method of suicide used in about half of all suicide. Yet suicide is preventable. Knowing the risk factors and recognizing the warning signs for suicide can help prevent suicide. Okay. Any thoughts, Kisha?
I find it very interesting, to see those statistics. I thought it would be up until my age. I'm 40. I just hit 40 this year, so I'm surprised it said only up to 34. So very interesting.
Well, I'm sure other people other age groups have been affected. Okay. Now, there are risk factors um, that makes one successful. Think about committing suicide. Um, Number one, previous attempt or attempts of suicide, a history of suicide in the family, substance misuse, mood disorders, depression, bipolar disorder, access to lethal means, keeping firearms in the home, losses and other events, for example, the breakup of a relationship or the death, academic failures, legal difficulties, financial difficulties, bullying, history of trauma or abuse, chronic physical illness, including chronic pain, exposure to the suicide behavior of others. Um, any thoughts?
To me, that sounds like life in general. Like that sounds like what everybody in the world is gonna go through. Like that sounds like adulting. That sounds like what our parents went through, our grandparents went through. Like that's something that everyone is gonna experience at some time. There's no way to escape any of those things in life.
That is,
So I
yeah,
don't
that is
I don't know what to say about that.
okay. Well, some of these things I suspected. Okay. Now, in some cases, a recent stressor or sudden catastrophic event, failure or can leave people feeling desperate, unable to see a way out, and becoming tipping point towards suicide. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the warning signs of suicide. Often talking, or writing about death, dying, or suicide. Making comments about being hopeless, helpless, or worthless. Expressions of having no reason of living, no sense of purpose in life. Saying things like, it'll be better if I wasn't here or I went out. Increased alcohol and or drug misuse. Withdrawal from friends, family, and community. Reckless behavior or more risky activities, seemingly without thinking. Dramatic mood changes. Talking about feeling trapped or being a burden to others. So, what's your thoughts?
Some of that I can agree with. Some of that I kind of don't agree with because I feel like some people do a very good job masking their face, masking their feelings, masking their emotions, playing multiple hats, so to say. And sometimes they can be right in the household, right up under your nose, and you won't notice it. You won't see those signs. So I kind of agree with some of it, but some of it I don't agree with because again, to me, it just sounds like something that everyone goes through, during life. I just feel like for some people, they're a lot stronger, and some people, they're a lot more sensitive and not as strong. And, I think that's the divide.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to discuss what's called protective factors. Okay, these are things that can help us if we're thinking about taking our own lives. Okay, contact with providers, follow up phone call from healthcare professional, effective mental health care, easy access to a variety of clinical interventions, strong connections with individual, family, communities, and social institutions, problem solving and conflict resolution skills. Any thoughts?
Those all sound good if the individual has the resources and access and tools to those things. Those definitely sound like some things that, you got to have good insurance for to be able to do some of those things, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to be doing later on, I'm going to be sharing some resources where people can utilize if they find themselves in a situation that either they're thinking about committing suicide or if they know someone that are thinking about committing suicide. And some of them are very local, right here in New York. Okay. As with mental illness, one of the biggest barriers to preventing suicide is stigma, which prevents many people from seeking help. What do you think about that, Keisha?
I agree. Stigma is so heavy. It's like the biggest trend ever. That's not even a trend. But absolutely, I think, the stigma of how things appear, how they look, what people think is a big factor in it all. And it will definitely stop a person from getting help, even if they know there's a chance of it being helpful and resourceful to them.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is like you see, in my generation, I'm a baby boomer, so it could be even harder for us in my generation to acknowledge that we need help because in my generation, you know, in to various degrees, men are taught not to be emotional, not to cry, just to suck it up. So now there are some things that we can do um, if we suspect someone uh, committing suicide. Now, I would appreciate it if we can do a little better on the likes. There's currently 8 people viewing this stream, and we only got 3 likes. This is a very serious topic, so I really would appreciate it if we get a couple more likes, please. Now, this is all we can do. If someone indicates they're considering suicide, listen and take their concerns seriously. Don't be afraid to ask questions about their plans. Let them know you care and that they're not alone. Encourage them to seek immediate help and immediately find an acknowledgeable professional. Don't leave them alone. Your thoughts?
Hmm. Amen. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. Don't leave them alone. Show them that you care. It's so important. When I was at my lowest, and those were my thoughts, it was knowing the people that genuinely cared for me that really helped, that really helped me acknowledge like, the aftermath effect this would have if I even took this seriously. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, one thing we have to bear in mind that September is prevention, a suicide prevention month. So originally, I was going to talk about, I was going to open season 4, but I think it's better that we are discussing it now. Now, here's some tips that we can do to help people who are thinking about committing suicide. Number one, ask, are you thinking of killing yourself? Well, people may be hesitant to ask. Research shows that this is helpful. Keep them safe. Reduce access to lethal items or places. Be there with them. Listen carefully and acknowledge their feelings. Help them connect. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline and stay connected. Follow up and stay in touch after a crisis. Any thoughts?
That's all great information. I don't even think I knew there was a 888 suicide hotline number actually, because when I was going through it, I never even thought about that number, honestly. So I think that's great. It's good that it's out there for people to know and be able to have access to. I'm pretty sure it is used, but probably not in our communities as much as other communities.
Okay. And now we have another guest. Good evening, Hazel.
Hi, Jose. Hi, Keisha.
Hi.
I just
How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I just wanted to make time for this because you did say yesterday you were going live, and you know I'm pretty busy nowadays, and I get tired, so I'm not really here, so I have to make the effort. But this is a very good topic, and I wanted to give my opinion on it.
Okay. By all means, go
And
ahead.
what if you go ahead and finish? I think you were saying something, or Keisha was saying
No,
something.
no, I was just sharing some information, um, what to do in case you do know someone that's thinking about committing suicide, or if you yourself think about committing suicide. Now, what I'm going to be doing in a while, I'm going to share some other resources uh, for those who are actually thinking about it, because there are resources to help. The problem is there's still a lot of stigma attached to the thoughts of suicide.
Uh, yeah, I've had people, I've come across those who wanted to, but they really, okay, they feel at the moment that they wanted to, they had thoughts about it for a while, but they came to me for help. I was the last resort. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
comes to you for help, um, you know, if they come to you for help, they talk to you about it, uh, maybe then, in my view, they really don't want to. They're just coming to you, but they feel like there is no hope. Now, here's a part where I disagree, and I don't know who. This is not the solution for who. Says who? Because some people do want to end their lives, and I think we need to stop telling people they have to continue living when they don't want to. This is why a lot of people don't say anything. I think euthanasia is a good solution, because I don't think we should be forcing people to live. I don't want people to feel like they need to end their lives, but we don't know what is going on in their head, what they're thinking, what they're going through. And just to say that that's not a solution, or here's some other things that you can do to stop yourself from wanting to do that, that is not really a good solution for everyone. I think people should have the right to end their lives if that's what they want, under the authority of a doctor. Now, euthanasia is, it goes on, I think, in 7 different states in America. I know California and Oregon is one of 2 states. It's 2 states that I know. I think there's 7. I think Washington, D.C. is another one. Then there's other countries that allow people with severe mental health, severe depression, to end their lives in a peaceful, dignified way. I think euthanasia is a solution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think telling people that they need to live,
Okay.
is a solution for everybody. I think a solution for those who want that help. They feel this way. They want to stop feeling that way, because that was my experience with the people that I've come across. I was a home health aide, and I've had some clients that were telling me what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, and I had to get them help. But those type of people, they were saying that because they wanted help. They just didn't know how to go about it, or they felt shameful. But the information that you're giving out, that's good. I feel that that's good. That's good for those who really want that help, just don't know how to say it. But then there's people who don't want that help, and they really want to stop living. And I think you as an individual, I'm a different type. I think differently. I think everyone has free will. So if you do not, for whatever reason, don't want to continue on, there should be a lot of evaluations here, and with guidance, that should be done in a peaceful way, because it's done in other countries.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but you know something? We have to make a distinction between a person wish to be euthanized. At least they're under a doctor's care.
Right.
Okay, so we have to make a distinction between those who are under a doctor's care, who decide for whatever reason to end their life, as compared to someone that takes a firearm or poison,
Yeah.
or jumps up a bridge or end their life that way, unsupervised. So we do need to make a distinction.
Yeah. Because that is
Okay.
not legal right now. That is not legal right now. So people are taking other methods by doing other things, and a lot of times it's a failed attempt, and the person suffers, but then they continue on to try and try and try. I am not encouraging anybody to do anything. In a perfect world, I would love for everyone to feel like they should want to continue living, and life is, it's worth it. But this is me, this is how I think, this is how you think. We are not able to read the minds of others, of what is really going on in their head, why they feel that, why are they so depressed, and just they want to just call it a day. But I think that in America, this is such a free country, and you have the right to choose to do what you want with your own body. This should be one of them.
Okay.
I've
Well,
never heard about this before. That's very interesting. I definitely want to look that up. Of course, I know what the term euthanasia means, but I didn't know in other countries it was practiced this way within a healthcare system, and it was like a regular practice or a paid
Oh
practice.
yeah. I think look up Switzerland. I think Switzerland is a country that does it. Here in America, you can do it, but you have to have like a terminal illness. You have to be like, you're not going to make it through your cancer treatment. Things like that. Where you're dying already and you're not going to survive whatever it is. Depending on the state. I know California and Oregon for sure. You can do that. It was a whole big thing with this woman, that she had some type of brain tumor. It was cancerous or something, and it was all over the news a few years ago. She ended her life. She had to relocate to California to get it done.
mm-hmm.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, in the case of my mother, God rest her soul, when she was alive, she made it perfectly clear that if her health deteriorated to the point that nothing could be done for her to recover, she didn't want to be kept alive artificially. And we, her children, have to honor her right.
Right.
Okay. Now, one thing that me and Keisha have in common, which is we both thought about committing suicide. In fact, I've gone through bouts of depression,
Right.
and at least 3 times I actually thought about killing myself. Um, I was able to get the help I need because I did not want to end my life.
Oh, you really didn't. Okay, yeah, you really didn't want to. You felt like
Yeah.
that was an option, but that wasn't the real option. This was going to be your last resort if you couldn't take it anymore. And somehow, some way, you got the help. I had a patient that did that too, where he was alone. He was HIV positive. Nobody wanted to be around him because he was HIV positive, and he was a gay man. And none of his family, his mother was his only true friend. But when she died, he became very depressed. He didn't clean his house and everything. Like when I was a home health aide, I had to take care of this man. He lived in St. Albans, Queens.
Hmm.
And yeah, his brother was a police officer, and he had two sisters living in, I think, Georgia. He was alone. He lived with his mother. His mother loved him and took care of him and everything, but then she passed away. And he wanted to do this, and he told me this was the last time we were going to see each other. He wished me well. He wanted to give me certain things that was valuable to him, that he thought that I would like, and that was special to him, and that this is what he was going to do once I left, and how he was going to do it. So I I said, okay, because you cannot be arguing with the person. We're told not to argue with the people. I said,
Hmm.
okay. And of course, I reported it. And then I reported it to my job. But I did call his brother. I rummaged through his things, and I did see some numbers. He had like a phone book. I was looking around to see who else can help him right now, because he felt like nobody loved him, because he didn't have anyone. And a lot of boyfriends that they died of illnesses. So he felt alone in the world, and he wanted to be with his mother. But when the brother called, and the brother said, "I love you," I know we haven't spoken in a while. Um, I never said that I called that brother. It's just that brother did call him when I left.
Yeah. Um, like I said, when I had my suicidal thoughts, at times I felt that the world would be better if I wasn't around, and that I didn't value anything. Basically, okay. Well, in my
That's how
case,
you. I hear a lot of people say that. I
mhm,
hear a lot of people say that. But your life is valuable. I can say that to you 1,000 times. But you have to believe that your life is valuable. And
yeah,
thank goodness that you got the help. And you
Amen.
too, Keisha, you too, because your life is valuable. It's only when you are gone, which is unfortunate. It's only when you are gone the pain of your loss is expressed.
mhm, yeah. I just want to acknowledge that Gigi is in the building. Good
Hi,
evening.
Golden Goddess. Hi, honey.
How are you doing today? And again, please, I'm asking, feel free to share this video with anybody,
Yeah.
okay? Because
I,
this is a serious topic. Now, Keisha, you was mentioning some other, your bouts with suicide thoughts. Do you feel comfortable sharing them?
Sure, absolutely. Like for me, it wasn't planned out to know how I wanted it to happen. It was just me being at a real low, stressful point in my life where, I wasn't working, I had nothing of value. I wasn't succeeding in anything around. I was having negative relationships with all of my inner circle and outer circle people. I was just at a very stressful point in my life where it just things were not good, and it's something that I contemplated a few times, really thought out in my brain. Should I do this? How would I do this? Who's going to be affected by this? Why am I thinking this? And it was at like my weakest, lowest point. And so many things came after a result of that. But for me, it was me thinking about my closest loved ones, people, that raised me, people that I had great memories with, my own dreams and desires and goals and admirations that said, nah, you got to just change your circumstances or your situation. Like this is not your journey. So it wasn't like well thought out, but I was really deeply depressed, like super skinny, not eating, like bad skin, isolating from friends and family, no friends at all, never going out, like people definitely noticed the shift and the change with me, but they didn't really know what was going on. Just stopped communicating with people, started cutting people off, changing phone numbers, like really isolated myself to a point of like just loneliness and depression. And I sucked in it and I sat in it for a long time until I was just really tired of being in that depressed moment, because I realized after a while, it's like, okay, you're going to get tired of feeling like being in that same situation over and over and over again. And after a while, no one's saddened by your situation but you. You're the one stewing in your own shit. But I thought about my kids, I thought about my parents, I thought about my siblings, and I'm like, nah, I gotta be stronger than this. So for me, it was just heavily on my mind. Like, you know what? I don't have nothing going on at this point. I can't get a job. I can't pay my rent. I'm on welfare, or I'm on unemployment, or I don't have my own money, or I'm with this person because they're giving me a handout, or I got to do this for that person to get to work. Like I remember walking to work having like no food in my refrigerator, like not even, having lunch money at work, not being able to pay any of the bills, disconnected cable, backed up in rent. It was like a horrific, horrific situation for me, and not wanting to tell anyone, not wanting no one in my business, making excuses on top of excuses for everyone to stay the hell away, mind their fucking business, stay the fuck out of my business type of thing. My attitude changed, my mood changed. I became angry, aggressive, defensive, offensive. It was a whole shift in who I was,
Okay.
and it
Now,
was scary.
now, what I now on the screen, these are some resources for people who are thinking about committing suicide and do want to help, or if they know someone that's thinking about committing suicide. And these are some resources. Um,
The national one, I see it there. Yeah, it's small. I can't.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's kind of small, but I think I see the national one there. That's the first one, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
And then there's the Lifeline number, that's 1-800-273-8255.
Okay.
Uh,
I just want to add something. If anyone ever does call one of these numbers here, I want to give you a heads up that you will be Baker acted. And Baker acted means for your safety and the safety of the officer, you will be handcuffed but not put under arrest. That is just to, they don't know what situation they're going into, and they don't know what you're capable of doing to yourself. They don't know if you'll try to open up that car door when they drive you, because they're going to drive you to the facility to get help. They're not supposed to be aggressive with you. It is not an arrest. They're just putting you in handcuffs for their safety or your safety. And they're going to take you to where you need to go. That it does, because people, when they're not told what's going to happen to them, there will be a police officer or maybe a mental health specialist that escorts the police officer, depending on what state you live in, will come and get you. And a lot of times it is a police officer that'll show up to your house, and people get very defensive, like, why are you knocking at my door? They feel like they're being treated as a criminal. So that's probably another nightmare that people do hear for those who have called those hotlines, that they get placed in handcuffs. And of course, if you're in a very tender situation, right? Your mind is not, your mind is not thinking. You all you know that somebody just wants to handcuff you.
mhm.
But this is just a heads up. I think that these type of things should be said. I'm not 100% sure if they're saying this on the phone when you do call, that's something that a police officer is going to show up and handcuff you. I do know somebody shows up and talks to you, but from some of the experiences that I had with people who did make a phone call and I watched it happen, they were put in handcuffs.
Now,
But they're supposed to be kind to you. They're supposed to explain this to you. They're not supposed to come in your house and just say, get on the floor, put your hands behind your back. They're not supposed to do. They're supposed to talk to you first and try to get an understand understanding of why do you feel this way and how long you've been. They try to talk to you, and then I guess they call their supervisor, whoever it is. But like I said, there are mental health specialists supposed to help come with them, and depending on the state.
Okay.
But this is what does happen.
Okay. Well, you know something, Hazel, is good. It's a good thing to know. Now, one resource. This is for the LGBTQ community. Is the Travel Lifeline, and the number is 866-488-7386. Also, there's some other resorts depending on the, like if you like you're in Georgia, there is the Georgia Crisis and Access Line, 1-800-715-4225. And then if you're in Indiana, you can text 7411741. Here in New York, we have what's called NYC Well, and the toll free number is 1-888 NYC Well. So these are just some resources. If you find yourself in the position that you're thinking about committing suicide and you want to seek help, or if you know someone that is dealing with thoughts of suicide, and you can offer them this information. The key is, whatever you do, please don't be judgmental, because once you become judgmental, you might push them to the point where they'll do it might be that they're thinking about it. They might go from thinking about it to actually do it. Now, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just simply stating, whatever you do, don't be judgmental with these people.
Think of it like this. It's like any other part of your body. It's just another part that gets sick. Like, you can get diabetes, you could get heart disease, you could be born with high blood pressure issues. Your brain can become sick at any time. Your dementia happens to people at any time. There's babies born with dementia. There's people who get dementia in their 20s and 30s. Your brain can become very sick. And being depressed, you need help. Your brain is somewhere. Something is wrong up. I don't want to say wrong. Something is different. Something changed up there. And if you want to continue living, but you don't want to live like this, then seek help. I think that these services are good. I just think that how it's done, it's kind of cruel.
Okay.
From someone that I've seen happen. When I was a home health aide, I saw a lot of things. Oh my God, I saw a lot of things. People were treated in ways I don't think they should have been treated.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna post this again. Again, I'm asking, please feel free to share this video, because it does it is providing information for those who want help. Okay, the key word is want help.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
see
have to
here we
want
have
to.
some more comments. Okay, okay, okay. So apparently something happened with James. I don't know what it was, but
That's between the two of them, so just leave it like that.
you know what? That's perfectly fine. I just want to make sure, I just want to make sure that everyone gets along. That's my thing, because I happen to be in Magic Mulatto stream, and there was a lot of.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay.
So
Um,
I just want to, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, going back to the topic. I just want people to be mindful that the other who you think that it may not be a solution to whatever someone else wants to do, they might not think that that's the solution. I really don't agree with telling people that you should not want to do that. I would like for people to go around another route where you let them talk about why this is happening. Because in Keisha's, when she was explaining what was happening, in her life, once that situation got turned around, life was so better, so much better. You too, you got your help. That's great. But then there's people who just don't want to. They may have everything going for them. They don't have nothing to worry about. They don't have any struggles, and they still feel this way.
That's
And
true.
I think people should have the right to do what they want with their bodies, and this should be one of them. I just feel like it needs to be a safer way of doing it. And I think euthanasia should be something that's spoken about more.
Okay. That might be something that I might discuss at some point. Um, when I thought about this topic, I was looking at it in, okay, there are people that we may know are thinking about this option. So what we can do is to listen to them carefully. Um, not pass any judgments on it, and be sympathetic to because not everyone deals with the struggles of life equally. There, there are those that are better prepared to deal with the challenges of life, and then those who are not as prepared for whatever set of circumstances. Um, I know in my case, okay, and again, I'm talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through within a 30-year period. I've lost both my parents, four of my siblings, my grandnephew. Okay, I have had three major procedures done. I've been betrayed by someone that I loved. I've been hurt deeply by people that I trust. I have had bouts with depression and suicidal thoughts. But I was fortunate because I did to me I did not want to kill myself. I wanted help, and I was able to get the help I needed.
I'm so happy that you did that.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's great that you are creating a safe space for people to come and talk about it, and even giving out that information. Um, it's just like you said, there's a lot of stigma. I think the country is changing. I really think so, because it seems like there's a lot more people being vocal about uh, going to therapy. Well, this is what my therapist said. I had a discussion with my therapist some days ago, or last week, or 2 weeks ago, and this is what he said. This is what she said. I'm hearing a lot more of that now.
That's me. I be up here talking about it too. Like my therapist said, good job.
Yes, yes, and I think that it's good. Even therapists need therapists. You have
Yes.
therapists getting annual mental evaluations. You have people who go to hypnotherapy. But that's not covered by insurance. It's kind of expensive. It's like $200 a session. But that is another way for you to reprogram your mind. Um, Whatever it is that you think you need to do to continue living a peaceful life, exhaust all options if you can.
Hmm.
I just think that at the end of life should be a decision that that is on the table for those who want to do that, but with good reason and under, mental evaluation. I know there's other countries. I don't know why this popped up on my on my YouTube like 5 years ago, but I saw a woman who had cancer, and she did it, but she had a doctor. Somebody came to the house. Of course, she was evaluated for months and months and months, and she ended her life um, in her home. I think one of her family members was playing the piano for her, and then she fell asleep, and then after a few minutes, everything just starts shutting down. I'm not encouraging you to do anything. I'm just saying there are more humane, safer ways to do it, because you really can't stop it from happening. If somebody wants to do it, they want to do it. I just think that this should be another option. And then of course this is the option to not do it, to get help, you know. And I think putting people, everybody, when they go there, they get right away, they get put under medication. The medications have some horrible side effects.
Yeah.
Also, medical marijuana. I think cannabis. You don't have to smoke it. There's other forms of marijuana that helps with depression.
Mhm.
For
That's not
me,
encouraged either.
oh, sorry.
That's
For
okay.
me, I was just thinking more about the sense of how the loved ones are left when, suicide is spontaneous, not the planned suicide where, you have a health condition or you're
Mm,
not doing well, you want to do a DNR, like do not resuscitate me, but more or less of, when it spontaneously happens and the loved ones are just left to pick up the pieces of woulda, coulda, shoulda, have I did, why we didn't see the signs kind of thing. Like, it's a
yeah,
lot of younger children, teenagers, young 20s, early 30s, parents. Like, it's just, it's not uncommon. I guess we're just hearing about it more because this is the social media world we live in now. But the ages are getting younger, and it's kind of like leaving the family in disarray where other relatives want to do the same thing. Now everybody wants to
yeah,
jump in the casket, you know what I mean?
yeah. I feel like that part should not be burdened on the person who wants to do it. I had a family member who asked me if I would be all right when they're gone. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. They would not do it unless I told them I will be okay. And what I said was, I can't leave you alone because you just finished saying this to me. And you said it, but this was a cry for help because you're also saying that you really don't want to, but you see no other way of getting out of your mind.
Mhm.
It was a mind thing. I cannot get myself out of this darkness and this incredible feeling of guilt. I'm a bad person, right? And I don't know where they got that from, but I don't know. They felt that way. And what I said was, what you do, you're not responsible of how I feel after you do this. That's not important. What's more important is why you feel that you should do this. That's more important to me. What are you feeling? What are you thinking? What has happened that you feel this way, that you want to do it? But I cannot leave you alone. I want you to get help because you're telling me this. So we can't just have this discussion tonight and you feel good at the moment and then those thoughts come back. You need real treatment. You need help. So I'm gonna have to get you help. And I got that person, that family member, help. But it is shocking when your family or your friend or your lover, whoever, finds out that you did this. But I never blame that person. I never say, well, you took the easy way out, or you're a coward because you didn't want to live anymore. Well, you can't take life struggles. Everybody has struggles, so you're special because you going through it and you can't handle it, so you're gonna off yourself. That is not fair. That's not right to say that to a person. you know
I just want to acknowledge the fact that the Blazing King is in the chat. Good evening, sir. And I just want to let every And I just want to let everybody know that Blazing King has a YouTube channel. So if you have not done so, please subscribe and check out his content. Also, Golden Goddess also has a channel. So if you have not done so, please subscribe to her channel and check out her content. And of course, my cyber son, or one of them, the 18th Leather, has his own YouTube channel. So if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to these dear people. Apologize for the commercial break. Oh,
Okay.
and don't forget K-Fit, Keisha has
I
her
was
own.
waiting, like, how dare him leave me out? Oh my God, he gonna leave me out?
No, I leave the best for last.
Oh, good save. Good save. Good
Good one,
save.
Fabio. Good one.
So, Keisha has her own YouTube channel. She's on Saturday nights called Wine and FaceTime, and she does talk about um, interesting topics. Some of them similar to what's being discussed. So I'm going to ask that if you have not done so, please show some love and subscribe to her channel and check out her content.
Yes,
Yay!
yes. And she
That's
has
the
really
fake
good
clap
content
voice.
on hair treatment. I love your hair. She's very good content on hair treatment, how to take care of your hair, the products, uh, uh, certain oils. I watch. I just, I don't be in the chat. I just watch from time to time, and I gotta hit that algorithm. You need your likes up, girl.
Thank you. I'm
So
I'm
you
out
have
here
good
struggling
content
in these
too.
streets. I'm struggling to get them likes.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, the key is just continue to produce that content on a regular basis. Look, both our channels are small. I just have 147 subs, so but it's a process because people who create quality content, their growth is slow. It's slow, but it's constant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm patient though. Like every time I get another sub, I'm like so genuinely appreciative, like humbled, like sparkle sprinkles inside, like oh,
Yeah. Yeah. But getting back to the topic in hand. Um, the fact of the matter is, it's a serious issue, um, and there's help for those who want to help. Now, and we have the angry biracial in the chat. Good evening, sir. How you doing? Thank you very much for stopping by. Angry, if you wish. The topic for tonight is um, suicide is not the solution, so it's suicide prevention. So I'm asking anyone that's interested to please to share this video because we are sharing information which may be of great use for people who are struggling with these thoughts.
All right, Jose, Michelle, have a great night. I'm gonna have to step down, all right?
all right, you too,
Okay,
Hazel. Good to see you.
Good to
take
see you
care. Thank
too. Be safe out
thank you.
there.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, I'm watching my back all day, girl.
Yes, yes. Be well.
okay. Thank you. Now, one thing, in case we have people who are members of SSE Local 371, which is the local that we both belong to, we also have the Crisis Intervention Program. Um, and there are people who are licensed social workers who can help dealing with these issues. Good evening, James.
Hello, Jose. I was about to say, you forgot to shout my channel out. LOL.
Okay, no, okay, of course. I'm sorry. Oh, also, if you have not done so, please check out James Met's content, subscribe, and check out his material. You're right, my back.
Okay. Mm-mm. Yep.
So, how you doing tonight?
doing great.
Okay.
Just kind of
Um,
busy.
yeah. What you thinking about the topic?
My phone glitching, so I'll make this quick. I have to hop out.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think depression is something that all of us go through, and we can get some help, or we can deal with it on our own. Sometimes we don't need therapists.
Okay.
Sometimes I think, but in
All
most
right.
cases we do to get us better help. You know.
Okay. Well,
So
yeah.
let's see, you guys.
hmm Well, earlier today, I did share some resources for people who are struggling can look into. So most of these, they're toll-free numbers, and it's good to know that anyone that's struggling with these thoughts, that there are resources to help them. I mean, both Keisha and myself both thought about committing suicide. However, we were fortunate that we got the help that we needed, and we're here to talk about it.
Absolutely. I think the problem is, some people just don't want to talk about it with anyone. They just are so afraid of being judged. They're so afraid of looking a certain way, being weak, or, the opinions of other people around them that they rather just, let it all self sabotage them and let them explode to that decision. I think that stigma thing is very real, and unfortunately that's just what it is for many people, and it sucks because it shouldn't be. But as Hazel made a good point, this is something that's practiced in other countries, euthanasia in a professional medical or healthcare setting. So who's to know, maybe if that was something that was practiced here, maybe the rate wouldn't be as high.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. For a long time, I did not share publicly that I had these thoughts about taking my own life. It wasn't until like 2018 when I attended a mental health workshop, which I finally got the courage to share what had happened. Good. Thank you for stopping by, Blazing King. Be safe out there. I mean, but to be perfectly
Good night.
honest, it was extremely difficult because unfortunately there is a lot of stigma involved regarding people who do think about who have thought about taking their own lives. And the reality is this: it could be very hard, uh, to discuss it. And I see we have the presence of Andre Jr. 316. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by.
I always thought that, a person that takes their life is a really strong individual to go through with the success of completing the goal. But I know some people refer to that person being weak. And again, the purpose of this is not to judge on if they're weak or they're strong. But to me, it always was a scary thought until I hit a point of depression where I considered it for myself. And I think, I really quickly sharpen up to think like, okay, you don't got the guts to do this. But, when you see someone, go through with it, it's like, you don't, I guess a part of us all think like, wow, like, is that strength? Is that weakness? Not that it should matter or not, because the families and the loved ones ultimately are just saddened about the loss and just are confused and just don't know where to go to for, discernment or, remorse or anything because they're just shocked that they didn't see the signs.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The fact of the matter is, what is the dangerous part when when you finally made that decision? to take your own life. Okay, when it goes from talking about it to be actually okay, I'm going to do this. I mean, that's when it gets really scary. Now, I came across an article written by Dr. Krista Labore. This is from Columbia University Irving Medical Center. What I'm going to do is, this is another a way that some people deal with it, with depression, is through self injury. Okay. Self injury is when people hurt themselves on purpose, for example, cutting, scratching, or burning themselves, or bruising parts of their body. This doesn't mean that they're trying to kill themselves. However, it does mean that they don't know a better way to deal with upsetting emotions or life situations. This increases their risk for suicide. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's just really unfortunate that, we're really talking about the data and statistics of what causes people and the side effects and after effects of, the whole suicide prevention and awareness. I just think it's really weird and freaky, like how just so many our people are doing it. It's almost like it's trending, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or, and I don't mean to offend anyone. Full disclaimers out here. To me, it's just too common. It's happening way too much to the point where you're like, oh, which one? The one in New York, the one in Chicago, the one in Alabama, the young girl, the couple. Like, it's kind of like the murder situations around us and all the homicides just becoming too much. It's like, it's really depressing knowing, but at the end of the day, if people are happy with this decision, it's done in a great way, cool. If not, then I just have some mixed feelings about it all, honestly.
But you know what I think part of the problem is with the growth of social media. I mean, it's coming more knowledgeable that these people, some of them young, young to be our children or what have you, are making that decision. Um, because it's just unfortunately before the rise of social media, no one really knew. Now, but now everyone. I mean, it's almost like on a regular basis, you hear about this person taking their life, and this professional or this model or what have you, because for many of them, this is the only option.
Yeah, that's very true. It really is. I just wish there was more effective things that we could do for people to make them feel like this is not what they want to do. But I'm realizing now that maybe this doesn't have to be a negative situation depending on the circumstances. Like Hazel said, this could be a positive if it's something everyone agrees to or the individual agrees to. But Jose, I'm gonna have to step down. I have to get my daughter ready for bed for school tomorrow.
Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by, though.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Have a great evening.
All right, take care.
Bye bye.
Bye. So, you see, like I said, the whole purpose of this stream is, first of all, it's not to embarrass anybody, it's not to shame anybody. What it is to discuss that this is an issue. Okay. And the fact of the matter is, you do have people, I mean, some of them as teenagers, who, for whatever set of circumstances, this is their only option. And there are other options which are available for those who do wish to find to escape this thinking of hopelessness. And there are other factors too. When you think about this whole situation with the COVID-19 health crisis, I mean, first of all, you had so many people that have died because of COVID-19. And then you also have to deal with the fact that there have been people who lost their livelihoods, um, also people who lost their homes, and also mental health issues has increased considering within the last 2 to 3 years. Okay, and it could be very depressing when you think about it. I mean, you're hearing about this person dying, this person dying. You hear about this person committing suicide. And part of it is that some people, they lack the coping skills that they need in order to deal with the times when you think about committing suicide. Now, what I'm gonna do, let's see. Okay, I'm not gonna. There was another article. I don't think I'm gonna share it, but I'm gonna. If anyone that does want to join the panel, by all means, they can do so. Now, again, no one is obligated to share this situation regarding um, if they have any thoughts or if they know someone had thoughts about taking their own lives. However, if you do wish to share, it's perfectly fine. Okay. And again, the whole point of this stream is to let people know that we do know people who are struggling with mental health issues to the extent that they thought about taking their own lives. And we have to be mindful of what we say to these people because words can heal or words can destroy. And how many times have we say things without thinking about the consequences? So, but I do appreciate, all the people who have, who have entered their comments in the chat. Um, Now, I do understand that this is not an easy topic to discuss, but I perceive that it was a topic that needed to be discussed. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss regarding the streams for the rest of the week. Now, we are going to change the subject tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing who are your role models? Who are the people that you look at as a role model? It could be your parents, it could be your spouse, it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor. But what's in common is that the people who we pick as role models, they have positive qualities that we want to copy, that we want to duplicate. Hence, that's why they're called role models. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be having a discussion regarding role models. So I'm going to share some. I'm going to share some information. I'm going to share what, um, in my estimation, are role models. So I'm going to be sharing some key points that they all have. Um, I do hope that you will consider participating. Now, Thursday, I'm going to be dealing with the immigrant situation that's happening in what I call sanctuary cities like New York, Boston, Chicago. And what the situation is, you have thousands of refugees who are escaping difficult situations in their respective countries, many of them from Venezuela. So what happens is they arrive in at in Texas or Florida. So what do the governor of these states do? Instead of dealing with these refugees, what they do is they put them on buses and ship them to cities which are known to be sanctuary cities. And the whole purpose behind that is that they want President Biden to deal with the refugee issue. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be discussing it, but not um, in terms of who's right or who's wrong or the politics involved. I'm going to be dealing with what they have to deal with. I mean, first of all, they are seeking asylum because their life is in danger. So they go through a great deal of personal sacrifice and maybe face dangers to arrive in the United States to seek asylum. And then they have to, they end up being shipped um, to far parts of the United States. And they end up in places like New York. And just to give you an idea, so far, the city of New York has received over 11,000 of these refugees. So it does get to be an issue regarding that issue, how to deal with these individuals. Okay, okay. Gigi, if you wish, you can join the panel to express your point of view. If you're not able, I understand. Or if you don't feel comfortable talking about the issue, that's perfectly fine because I do understand that this is not an easy to- issue to talk about regarding suicide prevention. So if no one else wishes to enter a comment, okay, no problem. You know what? Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. But you know what? You can always catch it on the playback. And if you want, you can always put a comment after the stream is over. It's okay because we all gotta earn our daily bread. Okay. And to be perfectly honest, okay. Okay, cool, fine. Maybe you'll be able to join in. Um, I just believe that we needed to have a more of a lighthearted topic for tomorrow because I know that some people can find this topic depressing, depressing. And to be perfectly honest, I was planning to wait until November to discuss this topic, but in my heart of hearts, it was better that I talked about it today. So that being said, uh, I just want to thank everybody who entered the comments in the chat, the 18th letter, Gigi, Hazel, Keisha, Andre Jr. 316, James Maps. Oh, before I forget, Andrew LaRaisha also has a YouTube channel as well. So by all means, check out his content. Well, thank you very much, Gigi. I'm glad you appreciate it. And of course, you know, um, you know that I do support your channel. Okay. And and I know people say whatever they want to say, but I think you're a sweet lady. Okay. And if no one else says it, I just did. And if they don't like it, too bad. So, and of course, I want to thank Hazel and Kesha for. You know what, Gigi? I love your sense of humor. And and I did see, and I did stay up late to watch multi-stream as she expresses her point of view. And please let Multi know, I think she's a special lady too. Okay. And okay. So that being said, I thank everybody for indulging me for over 75 minutes on a topic which I know it wasn't easy to discuss, but it had to be discussed. So that being said, I'm going to close with the same words that I always do. Please be good to yourselves and to each other. That being said, this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Nick Boone. Thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see some of you tomorrow or in another stream soon. Take care and peace.
Be strong.